The stars outside the viewport burned cold and distant as the Creel Dominion warship drifted silently through space. Its metal halls echoed with cruel laughter. Inside the brig, a young human woman sat chained to the wall. Her name was Elara. Her wrists bled where the iron cuffs dug into her skin. Her dark hair clung to her face with sweat. She had been dragged from a transport ship 2 days ago, taken as a prize by the Creel raiders. To them, humans were nothing but weak prey. The Creel commander, a tall alien with grey skin and glowing yellow eyes, paced in front of her. His voice was sharp and cruel. "Your species is fragile," he sneered. "Soft skin. Weak bones. You break too easily. But you will tell us what we want. Earth hides secrets, and we will rip them out of you." Elara looked up slowly, meeting his gaze. Her lips trembled, but her eyes held something steady. Something calm. The commander noticed it and laughed. "You think you are brave? You think your silence will save you? Foolish human. You will die soon, and no one will come." The guards around him joined in, their rough laughter filling the chamber. One of them pressed a sharp device against Elara's arm. A surge of burning pain shot through her, forcing her to cry out. Her scream echoed through the steel walls. The aliens laughed harder. To them, pain was entertainment. Torture was a game. They believed humans always broke. Sooner or later, every prisoner begged for mercy. But Elara did not beg. She bit her lip, tears falling down her cheeks, but she said nothing. The silence made the aliens uneasy, though they tried not to show it. Hours passed. The pain continued. They burned her skin. They cut shallow wounds across her arms. They demanded answers about Earth's fleets, about human weapons, about secret research hidden on the blue planet. Elara shook her head weakly. "I don't know anything," she whispered. The commander snarled and struck her across the face. Blood spilled from her lip. "Lies," he hissed. "You humans hide something. We saw what you did on Syrian. We saw your soldiers survive things no other race could. Tell me the secret, or you will die here." Elara closed her eyes. Her breathing grew slower, softer. She did not argue. She did not fight back. Instead, she seemed almost at peace. The commander leaned closer, his fangs glinting in the dim light. "Do you hear me, human? You are nothing. A weak species, living on a fragile planet. You will not last in this galaxy. You will die, and your kind will be forgotten." Elara opened her eyes one last time. Her gaze was calm, steady, almost as if she knew something he did not. And then, her body went still. Her head dropped forward. Her chest no longer moved. The chains held her lifeless body in place. For a moment, there was silence. Then the aliens burst into laughter. "She's dead," one of the guards shouted. "Pathetic creature. Couldn't even last a day." The commander smirked. "So fragile. So weak. This is the strength of humanity. A child who dies at the touch of pain." They laughed and mocked her, celebrating as though they had won some grand victory. To them, the human was nothing more than another failed experiment, another broken animal. But as they mocked her, none of them noticed the faint, lingering expression on her face. Her lips, though still, almost seemed to curl into the ghost of a smile. They dragged her body away, leaving her chained and cold in a dark chamber. The ship continued its silent journey through the stars. The aliens believed it was over. But they were wrong. In the shadows of the Creel warship, the story was only beginning. The Creel warship drifted through empty space, its engines humming softly. In the lower deck, inside a cold chamber, Elara's body lay chained to the wall. Her skin was pale. Her lips were still. The human's fragile heartbeat was gone. The guards outside the chamber laughed and boasted about their victory. "See, humans are nothing," one of them grunted, tapping his claw against the steel door. "She died like an insect. Their kind cannot survive the galaxy." Another guard smirked. The commander wanted answers. "But I say it is better this way. Let her die. It saves us the trouble." They laughed again, walking down the corridor. Their voices faded into silence. Inside the chamber, only Elara remained. Her body was slumped forward, her hair falling across her face. The chains rattled softly as the ship shifted through space. And then, something strange happened. The lights flickered. At first it was small, just a quick dimming, as if the ship's power had surged for a second. But then it happened again. And again. The Creel engineers on the upper deck frowned, tapping their consoles. Strange. Power fluctuation, one muttered. It's like something is draining energy from the core. But there was nothing wrong with the engines. Nothing wrong with the systems. The problem was coming from the lower deck. From the cold chamber where Ilara's body was locked away. Inside, the air grew heavy. A faint humming sound filled the silence. The metal walls vibrated, almost like they were alive. Ilara's body twitched. Just once. Barely noticeable. Her fingers curled slightly, scraping against the chains. Then silence again. The ship groaned. The lights dimmed once more. One of the guards returned, opening the steel door to check inside. He stepped into the chamber, frowning. What is this? Why is the air so heavy in here? He looked at Ilara's lifeless form. Still dead, he muttered, kicking her leg. The body didn't move. Satisfied, he turned to leave. But then he froze. A sound. Very faint. A slow, steady beat. Thump, thump, thump. He spun around. His eyes widened. Ilara's chest was rising. Her heart was beating again. No, the guard whispered, stepping back. Impossible. Her head tilted slightly. Her lips parted. She gasped for air like someone drowning in deep water. Then, her eyes snapped open. The guard stumbled back in horror. Her eyes were no longer the same. They glowed faintly in the dim light, like embers hidden beneath ash. Ilara's voice was hoarse, broken, yet calm. 37 minutes, she whispered. That's how long it takes. The guard panicked, rushing out of the chamber. She's alive. The human lives. His screams echoed down the corridor, and soon more guards came running. They gathered outside the chamber, their weapons ready, their hands shaking. Inside, Ilara slowly lifted her head. The wounds on her body had begun to close. The bleeding had stopped. Her breathing was steady now, stronger than before. The commander stormed into the hall, furious. What nonsense is this? He growled. Humans cannot return from death. The terrified guard pointed inside. I saw it. She was dead, but now she breathes again. The commander pushed past them, entering the chamber. His yellow eyes narrowed as he saw her chained body rising against the wall. Ilara's gaze met his. This time, there was no fear in her eyes. Only something cold. Something unbroken. The commander stepped closer, trying to stay calm. What are you? He demanded. Ilara said nothing. Instead, she pulled against the chains. Metal groaned. Sparks flew. Slowly, impossibly, the steel links began to snap. The guards outside stared in disbelief. That's not possible, one whispered. No species is that strong. The commander raised his weapon, aiming it at her chest. Stay down, human, or I will. Before he could finish, Ilara's chains shattered. The sound echoed like thunder through the ship. Her body fell forward, and she stood tall, her shadow stretching across the walls. The commander fired. A bolt of searing plasma shot through the air and struck her shoulder. She staggered but did not fall. The wound closed before their eyes, healing in seconds. Gasps filled the corridor. She cannot die, one of the guards whispered. The commander felt something he had never known before. Fear. Ilara's voice was steady now, colder than ice. You were wrong, she said. Death does not end us. It teaches us. For the first time, the Creel Dominion realized humanity was not what they thought. Not weak. Not fragile. Not helpless. Something had changed. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The alarm bells rang through the Creel warship. Red lights flashed across the corridors. Guards rushed with weapons in their hands, their faces pale with fear. Word had spread quickly. The human had returned from death. Inside the cold chamber, Ilara stood unchained. Her body bore no signs of torture anymore. The cuts, the burns, the bruises, every wound had sealed itself as if time had been reversed. Only faint scars remained, glowing faintly in the dim light. The Creel commander stared at her, his claws trembling on the grip of his weapon. He was a veteran of many wars. He had fought beasts that tore ships apart with their jaws. But nothing in all his years had prepared him for this. "You should not be alive," he hissed. Elara tilted her head slightly. Her voice was calm, soft, but carried an edge of power. "I was dead. You killed me. But death, it doesn't hold me anymore." The guards exchanged nervous glances. Some stepped back, their courage fading. The commander barked at them, forcing his voice to remain strong. "She is only flesh. Fire on her." Blinding flashes filled the chamber as plasma bolts shot toward her. Elara raised her arms to shield herself, but the blasts only scorched the walls. Smoke cleared, and she was still standing. The wounds she received healed in seconds. Her eyes glowed brighter now. The guards froze. She heals faster than we can hurt her." Elara took one slow step forward. The sound of her bare feet echoed across the steel floor. Another step. Then another. The Creel soldiers retreated without realizing it. She did not run. She did not shout. She only advanced, calm and steady, like a storm that could not be stopped. The commander roared in frustration. "Hold your ground." But his voice betrayed his fear. Elara stopped only a few feet away from him. Her voice was quiet, but every word struck the air like iron. "You think humans are weak. You think we break. But you don't understand, death itself taught us how to fight." She moved faster than the guards could react. With a sudden strike, she grabbed the weapon from the nearest soldier and crushed it with her bare hands. Sparks burst out as the gun crumbled like glass. The soldier fell to his knees, trembling. "Not possible, nothing breaks Creel steel." The commander's face twisted with anger. He fired another shot at her chest. This time, Elara didn't even flinch. The wound burned for a moment, but her flesh sealed again right before his eyes. Her calm voice returned. "You cannot kill what has already died." Panic spread among the guards. 2 of them dropped their weapons and fled the chamber, their screams echoing through the ship. Elara looked around at the trembling soldiers. "You fear me," she said, her tone steady. "But I am only the beginning. Humanity will never kneel to your kind. Not now. Not ever." The commander backed away, sweat dripping down his gray skin. His hands shook as he pointed at her. "What are you? What has Earth done to you?" For a moment, Elara's face softened, as though remembering something far away. She whispered to herself, "They said it would be like this. The second life is always stronger." Then her eyes locked back on him. "I am human. That is enough." She lunged forward, moving with speed no alien could match. She struck the commander's chest with her fist, sending him crashing against the steel wall. The impact bent the metal. He coughed, blood spilling from his mouth. The remaining guards fired again, desperate. But their shots bounced uselessly, and their courage shattered. They fled into the hallways, abandoning their leader. Elara stood tall, her chest rising and falling steadily. The glow in her eyes dimmed slightly, but her strength remained. She looked at the commander, broken and gasping. She did not finish him. Instead, she turned toward the door. The ship's alarms still wailed. More soldiers were coming. But Elara did not fear them. She had faced death already, and won. As she stepped into the corridor, the Creel crew scattered like frightened animals. Some dropped their weapons. Others ran to hide. Whispers filled the ship. "The human is alive. She cannot die. She is deathless." The Creel Dominion had always believed humans were soft prey. But now they were learning the truth. Elara walked through the halls, unhurried, unstoppable. She could feel something inside her, a new power humming in her blood. Every breath, every step made her stronger. The commander's voice echoed weakly from behind her. This changes everything." Elara paused for a moment, glancing back at him. Her calm voice carried across the smoke-filled corridor. "Yes, it does." Then she disappeared into the shadows of the warship, leaving behind only fear. And in that moment, the Creel Dominion understood, humanity had a secret they had never imagined. A secret that could shake the galaxy. The Creel warship was no longer filled with laughter. It was filled with whispers. Soldiers moved quickly through the corridors, eyes wide, weapons shaking in their hands. Their voices trembled. She was dead. I saw her body. Yet she walks again. The story had spread like fire. The human girl, tortured to death, had returned. 37 minutes later, she had risen from the grave. Fear ate at the crew more than any weapon ever could. The Creel were conquerors, used to enslaving weaker races. They had never met an enemy who defied death itself. Elara walked calmly through the ship, her bare feet echoing on the steel floor. Wherever she passed, Creel soldiers backed away, pressing themselves against the walls, terrified even to look into her glowing eyes. She did not run. She did not shout. She simply walked forward, and the fear grew stronger with every step. On the command deck, officers argued in panic. "This is unnatural," one shouted, slamming his clawed hand against the table. "No creature can survive death. She is a weapon." Another hissed. "If the humans have many like her, the Dominion is finished." The commander, still wounded from Elara's strike, stood in the center of the room. His chest ached with every breath, but his voice carried sharp authority. "Enough," he growled. "She is only one human. One. We will trap her, and we will learn her secret." But his words sounded weaker than before. Even he could not deny the fear crawling inside his veins. Meanwhile, in the lower decks, groups of soldiers gathered in the shadows. Some argued about whether to fight, others about running. "She cannot be killed," one muttered. "I shot her myself. She healed before my eyes." "Maybe she is a ghost," another whispered. "Maybe humans are not truly alive. Maybe they are something else." The fear twisted into superstition. In just hours, the Creel's confidence had shattered. Elara moved silently through the halls. Her body felt strange, alive with energy. She touched the wall, and the metal seemed to vibrate beneath her hand. The ship itself groaned. She closed her eyes and remembered Earth, the cold laboratory where scientists whispered promises to her. "If you fall, you will rise. Death will not hold you. Humanity needs this." They had been right. But the cost was heavy. She felt it in her blood, in the strange humming power that now lived inside her. Her thoughts were broken by a sudden ambush. Dozens of Creel soldiers stepped out, blocking the corridor. Their weapons glowed with charged plasma. Their commander, a scarred veteran, shouted, "Human! You are trapped. Surrender now." Elara stopped. She looked at their shaking hands, their pale faces. They were afraid before the fight had even begun. Her voice was steady, cold. "You think you can stop me? You already lost when I came back." The soldiers fired. Blinding plasma bolts filled the corridor, slamming into her body. Smoke covered her form. For a moment, the Creel cheered. But when the smoke cleared, Elara still stood. Her body glowed faintly with every wound, and within seconds, the burns healed. She took a single step forward. Then another. The soldiers froze in terror. Some dropped their weapons. Others turned and fled, pushing past their comrades in panic. The veteran commander tried to rally them. "Stand and fight. She bleeds." But Elara's calm gaze broke him. She did not shout or rage, she simply walked forward, unshaken, untouchable. The veteran's weapon shook in his hands. He fired again, screaming in desperation. But his shot missed as he stumbled backward. His voice cracked as he shouted, "She cannot die. She is the Deathless." The name spread like lightning. The Deathless. In the upper decks, whispers turned to shouts. The Deathless walks the halls. The human has become death itself. Even those who had not seen her now believed. Elara reached the end of the corridor. She passed the fallen weapons, the empty helmets of those who had fled. Her voice carried softly, like a shadow across the walls. "I am not here to kill you," she said. "I am here to show you the truth. Humanity does not fear death. Not anymore." The words echoed long after she left, shaking the hearts of every Creel soldier. On the command deck, the wounded commander gritted his teeth. "If word of this escapes, the galaxy will tremble," he said. His voice cracked, but he tried to hide it. "We must take her alive. If humans have discovered how to return from death, the Dominion will fall." But deep down, he knew the truth. The Dominion was already falling. Not from weapons. Not from fleets. But from fear. And fear was the one enemy no empire could defeat. The Creel warship trembled as it drifted through deep space. Fear had already taken most of the crew. Some refused to leave their quarters. Others abandoned their posts. The whispers grew louder with every passing hour. "The deathless human walks among us." On the command deck, the wounded Creel commander stood with his officers. His chest still ached from Alara's strike, and fear lingered in his eyes, but he tried to hide it. "We cannot allow her to reach the fleet," he hissed. "If the Dominion sees what she has become, panic will spread beyond this ship. We must capture her. Now." His words were sharp, but no officer moved. None wanted to face her again. Down in the lower decks, Alara moved silently through the halls. Her body was calm, her steps steady. She had no weapon in her hands, yet the ship itself seemed to bend around her. Lights flickered as she passed. Metal groaned in her presence. Finally, the Creel soldiers cornered her. Dozens filled the cargo bay, weapons glowing, ship's shields humming. They had prepared everything this time: energy nets, sonic weapons, even dampeners to weaken her strange power. The commander himself limped forward, facing her. His voice tried to stay firm. "Human. Surrender. You will come with us. You will tell us what you are." Alara stood in the center of the bay, calm as ever. Her eyes glowed faintly, like dying embers. "You tortured me," she said softly. "You killed me. And yet, here I stand. Do you really want to know why?" The commander raised his weapon. "Speak." Alara looked around at the soldiers. They were sweating, trembling, but still aiming at her. Her voice was low, but every word cut like a blade. "Humans have always been hunted, always mocked, always underestimated. The galaxy sees us as fragile, but we learned long ago that fragility can be turned into strength." The soldiers shifted uneasily. Alara continued. "What you see in me is not an accident. Earth has secrets you cannot imagine. Our scientists studied death itself. They learned how to break it." A murmur spread through the Creel soldiers. Some lowered their weapons in shock. The commander growled. "Impossible. No species can defy death." Alara's lips curled into a faint smile. "And yet, here I am." For a moment, silence filled the cargo bay. Then Alara stepped forward slowly, her eyes never leaving the commander's. "You wanted Earth's secret. Here it is. When you killed me, you gave me what I was meant to become. The first of many. Humanity will never be slaves in this galaxy. We will not kneel. Even death cannot chain us." The soldiers backed away. One dropped his weapon, whispering, "She speaks the truth. The humans are creating immortals." The commander slammed his claw against the wall, furious. "Lies. She is only one experiment, a mistake." Alara's calm voice cut him again. "A mistake that survived. And when others like me rise, the galaxy will tremble. Your Dominion will tremble." The commander aimed his weapon at her head, his hand shaking. "If you are deathless, then I will test it myself." He fired. The bolt struck her square in the chest. Alara staggered backward. Smoke rose from her body. She fell to her knees. For a heartbeat, the soldiers gasped. Maybe she had finally been destroyed. But then she raised her head. The wound glowed faintly, sealing before their eyes. She stood again, her breath calm, her voice steady. "You see, even your strongest weapon cannot end me." The soldiers broke. Some screamed and fled. Others dropped to their knees, whispering prayers. The legend of the deathless grew stronger in that moment. The commander's eyes widened in horror. His weapon slipped from his hand. He stepped back, shaking his head. "No, no, this cannot be." Ilara walked toward him. Her voice was almost gentle now. You asked what I am. I am the future. I am the warning your empire ignored. Humanity is not fragile. Humanity is the storm you never saw coming. The commander collapsed against the wall, trembling. All across the ship, soldiers heard the words. Through open comms, through whispers in the halls, through terrified eyes, the revelation spread. Earth had conquered death. And if even one human could rise again after falling, then the galaxy was no longer safe for the Creel Dominion. Ilara turned her gaze toward the stars outside the viewport. Her voice dropped into a whisper meant for herself alone. This is only the beginning. On the shattered bridge of the Creel ship, Ilara's body pulsed with a strange glow. Her wounds had healed completely. Her eyes burned with a fire that was not only human. The alien experiments had tried to destroy her, but instead they awakened something hidden in her DNA. The commander, shaking, raised his weapon. You are not possible, he whispered. Ilara stepped forward. Her voice was calm. You tortured me. You killed me. And now you fear what you created. The weapon fired. Bolts of plasma struck her chest. The energy spread across her skin like ripples of light. She did not fall. She did not even flinch. The Creel warriors froze. The human fleet arrives. Across the stars, Earth's fleet finally broke through the Creel blockade. Warships of steel and fire surged into orbit. Human voices filled the comms. Command to ground forces, status. Scanning, wait. Sir, you're not going to believe this. On the screens, they saw her. A single human standing alive on the enemy bridge, surrounded by terrified Creel soldiers. Is that Ilara? One captain whispered. The fleet commander stared in silence. She's leading them. The fear spreads. The Creel Dominion, once the most feared empire in the quadrant, was broken by whispers. Across their ships, soldiers muttered about the death-born human. Rumors spread faster than orders. They killed her. She came back. She cannot die. Discipline shattered. Creel fleets abandoned their posts. Colonies rebelled. Even their rulers in the Dominion Council trembled at the thought of facing her. The final confrontation. Ilara walked to the center of the Creel bridge. The commander still stood, weapon shaking in his hands. She looked at him with steady eyes. You wanted to prove humans were weak, she said. You wanted me to die screaming. I did. But we are not like you think. Her voice echoed like thunder. When one human falls, another rises. When we die, our story continues. You tried to break me. But all you did was show the galaxy that humanity cannot be destroyed. She touched the main console. The Creel systems bent to her will. The alien technology, meant to twist her body, now obeyed her. The flagship broadcast her words across every Creel world. Billions heard her. Every soldier, every citizen, every leader. This is my message, Ilara said. You thought pain would end us. But it only made us stronger. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not break. And today, you will remember that. The collapse of the Creel. The empire shook from within. Soldiers refused to fight. Colonies declared independence. Admirals destroyed their own ships rather than face her again. The Creel commander fell to his knees. His weapon clattered to the floor. What are you? He asked. Ilara looked at him with quiet sorrow. I am human. That is enough. Aftermath. The war ended not with Earth's armies, not with a superweapon, but with a single girl who refused to stay dead. Ilara returned to Earth as a symbol. Crowds filled the streets, chanting her name. The galaxy watched, stunned. Other empires, who had once mocked humanity as weak, now stayed silent. For the first time, they feared what humans could become. The secret. In the quiet of her quarters, Ilara sat alone. Her hands trembled. Her reflection in the mirror showed eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. She was still herself, but something inside her had changed forever. The alien experiments had not just revived her. They had awakened a part of humanity no one understood yet. And deep inside, she knew this was not the end. The galaxy had seen one human rise from death. But what if she was not the only one? Ending suspense. As the stars glimmered outside her window, a voice whispered inside her mind. Not human. Not alien. Something else. Ilara, it said. You are the first. But not the last. Her eyes widened. She stood in silence, staring at the endless galaxy. The war was over. But the real story of humanity was just beginning.